My beloved child, a sudden trembling is moving in the unseen realm right now, and Archangel Michael is leaning in, calling your spirit by name. Today, December 17th, the heavens have issued an emergency message for you, a message so urgent that even the angels refuse to stay silent. Someone from heaven is trying to talk to you about a person who is leaving you forever, and this warning carries a weight you cannot ignore. Listen closely. There are moments in life when time slows, when the earth feels still, and when your spirit senses that something is shifting behind the veil. This is one of those moments. Archangel Michael stands at the doorway of your destiny, holding a blazing sword of truth, and he whispers, "Child, open your heart. Do not turn away. What you are about to hear will protect you." Right now, a divine alarm had been sounded over your life. A connection, a relationship, a bond you once believed was secure is being exposed for what it truly is. The person you thought would stay, the one you trusted with pieces of your soul, is quietly slipping away. Their footsteps are already moving toward the exit, even if you haven't heard them yet. And heaven refuses to let you be blindsided. Archangel Michael is showing a vision, the door that is halfway open, a shadow standing on the threshold, a heart carrying secrets it has not confessed. The message is not meant to break you, it is meant to prepare you. You have sensed it, haven't you? Your energy shifting. Their words becoming lighter, shorter, less intentional. Their presence feeling more distant, even when they are sitting right beside you. Your spirit has been whispering that something is wrong, and today the heavens confirm it. But hear this with the fullness of your soul. This departure is not your failure. This ending is not your punishment. This breaking point is not the destruction of your destiny. Archangel Michael steps forward now, wrapping you with the blue fire of protection, and he declares, "Child, what is leaving you is making room for what will lift you." The person who is leaving, whether physically, emotionally, or spiritually, is someone whose season in your life is closing, even if you tried to hold the door open for them. Heaven is intervening because your heart has carried weight that does not belong to you. You have poured into someone who stopped pouring back. You have prayed for someone who no longer prays for themselves. You have fought for a connection while they quietly loosened their grip. This message is heaven's mercy. This warning is heaven's shield. This moment is heaven's way of saying, you deserve truth before you experience pain. But the most shocking part is this. The person leaving you is not doing it suddenly. They have been detaching slowly, silently, emotionally, long before their absence becomes physical. Their heart made the decision before their mouth ever spoke the words. And the divine realm refuses to let you enter the coming days without clarity. Archangel Michael shows an image, a rope fraying strand by strand until one final thread remains. That last thread is today, December 17th. The day heaven says, "Open your eyes." But do not fear. Because with every ending heaven reveals, a divine beginning is already prepared. Something greater is aligning. Something purer is approaching. Something more stable is being built behind the scenes. What leaves you now is what cannot enter your destiny. What breaks way now is what cannot survive where you are going. What walks out now is what would have wounded you later. Archangel Michael urges you, child, do not cling to what heaven is releasing. Let the truth guide you, not illusions. Let the divine shift you, not your emotions. You are stepping into a season where your heart will no longer be drained by inconsistency, where your spirit will no longer be weakened by dishonesty, where your worth will no longer be challenged by someone incapable of recognizing it. But before heaven ushers you into that new chapter, this message, this revelation, needed to reach you. because clarity is the first step to freedom. And hear this final whisper from Archangel Michael for today. The one who leaves you is not the one who was sent to love you. Trust the release, for heaven never removes without replacing. Hold your breath for a moment, because what comes next in this message will reveal why heaven is exposing this now, and what blessing is being prepared for the space this person is about to vacate. Stay close. The next revelation carries the turning point your soul has been waiting for. Type "I walk with truth" in the comments if this is speaking to you. Lesson code 144 is now activated. My treasured soul, there is a deeper layer to this message that Archangel Michael is urging you to hear, and it unfolds like a hidden chapter heaven kept sealed until this very moment. The emergency you are feeling in your spirit is not random, and it is not exaggerated. It is the echo of a truth that has been trying to reach you for months, perhaps even years, but your heart was not ready to receive it until today. December 17th has become a spiritual checkpoint, a moment heaven chose because what is shifting inside you is finally strong enough to withstand the revelation that is coming. Archangel Michael stands beside you with unwavering presence, guiding your spirit gently but firmly into what must now be understood. The person who is leaving you forever is not being removed to punish you, but to prepare you for the release of something you have been praying for in silence. You have endured emotional storms that others never saw. You learned how to smile while your heart trembled. You held conversations while swallowing unspoken questions. You showed loyalty even when you felt forgotten. These hidden battles have reached heaven like incense, and Archangel Michael is now showing why this departure is necessary. The person you are losing is someone who has already detached from your soul's frequency. Their purpose in your life was not meant to stretch into the future that awaits you. Their energy has shifted into survival, not connection. Their presence became a memory long before it became an absence. Heaven, in its mercy, refused to let you keep walking toward a future tied to someone who stopped walking beside you long ago. There is a moment in every spiritual journey where the soul outgrows the hands that once held it. That moment has arrived for you. The person leaving is someone who cannot walk into your elevation. Archangel Michael reveals an image of you climbing a staircase made of light, while this person stands still, chained to an old version of themselves they refuse to release. I love the comfort of what is familiar more than the courage of transformation. You have grown. They have stayed the same. And heaven knows this imbalance would one day break you far deeper than their departure ever could. Archangel Michael whispers this truth, child. Your destiny requires people who can breathe the same spiritual air as you. Those who limit you cannot follow you. The heaviness you have been feeling around this relationship, connection, or emotional tie is not your imagination. It is spiritual overcrowding. Your soul is preparing for ascension, while their soul remains anchored in a place you have already outgrown. This is why conversations felt shallow. This is why their affection felt inconsistent. This is why you sensed emotional distance that could not be explained. You have been trying to build a future with someone who is still trying to understand their past. Heaven cannot allow you to be dragged backward by someone who refuses to move forward. But deeper than this, Archangel Michael reveals a shocking truth that you may have sensed but never admitted. This person has been making decisions without you. Their heart has been wandering in silence. Your loyalty hath been thinning like smoke. Their intentions have been divided between you and the life they imagine without you. This is why heaven calls it an emergency. Not because you are in danger, but because your destiny is. If this connection continued, your purpose would shrink to fit their limitations. Your light would dim to match their comfort zone. Your spirit would bend until it broke. Heaven loves you too much to let that happen. This is why the divine realm is stepping in now. The departure is heaven's intervention, Their exit is heaven's protection. Their release is heaven's routing of your destiny. Archangel Michael is not just informing you. He is guarding you. He is standing between you and a heartbreak that would have shattered you. He nudges your heart with this sacred message. What you think is loss is actually deliverance. What feels like abandonment is realignment. What seems like an ending is preparation for the arrival of someone who knows how to stay. You are entering a season where you will no longer feel unheard, unseen, or undervalued. Someone aligned with your calling is being prepared. Someone whose spirit recognizes your worth is already moving toward you. Someone who carries the emotional maturity, loyalty, and honesty you deserve is being ushered into your path. But heaven cannot release this blessing into hands that are still clinging to what is fading away. Archangel Michael is removing what blocks what is meant to bless you. Feel the shift happening even as you listen. You may feel a strange mixture of sadness and relief. You may feel the ache of letting go and the peace of divine timing. You may feel the sharp sting of truth, yet the quiet warmth of protection. These emotions are not contradictions. They are confirmation. They prove that heaven is intervening in the most intimate part of your life, guiding you gently out of what drained your soul and into what will finally nourish it. But there is more you must hear. There is a reason this message found you today, on December 17th specifically, and Archangel Michael is preparing to reveal the spiritual meaning behind this timing. Before this unfolding continues, keep your heart open, because the next part of this message carries a revelation that shifts everything. Hold steady. What you are about to learn will give meaning to every unanswered question. Type "I receive the truth" in the comments if this message is stirring something within your spirit. Blessing code 229 is now activated. My dear awakened soul, as the veil thins even more, Archangel Michael steps closer with a gravity that signals the next layer of truth. The timing of this message is not accidental. December 17th carries a spiritual alignment that heaven has been preparing long before you realized something in your life was shifting. This date represents exposure, release, and divine repositioning. It is the day when heaven moves what is blocking your path so your destiny can breathe again. Archangel Michael reveals that if this message had reached you earlier, you would have ignored it, rationalized it, or tried to fix something that was never yours to repair. Your heart, though tender, is powerful. But even the strongest heart cannot hold someone whose spirit has already chosen to walk away. There is a stirring in the heavens, a movement that signals urgency, because the person who is leaving you forever is not just leaving physically. They have detached spiritually in ways you sensed but never fully acknowledged. The silence between you has grown louder than the words spoken. The effort you have given has outweighed the effort returned. The bond has been thinning like a thread stretched too far. You kept hoping it was just tension, stress, temporary imbalance. But heaven is making it clear now. Their chapter in your life is closing not because you failed, but because your soul has evolved beyond what they can carry. Archangel Michael shows a powerful vision. You are standing in a narrow hallway, and behind you is a room filled with memories, promises, moments that once felt eternal. But ahead of you is a door with blinding light pouring from the cracks. The person who is leaving stands behind you, staring into the room you just walked out of, unable to follow you forward. Their spirit is anchored to old patterns, old fears, old wounds. They cannot elevate with you because elevation demands surrender, growth, honesty, and alignment. They are unwilling to face themselves, so heaven must remove them before they delay your destiny. This is not a loss. It is a rescue. Archangel Michael leans in with authority and compassion and speaks again. Child, what is leaving you is not equipped to love the version of you that is emerging. You are stepping into a higher identity, one shaped by resilience, clarity, and divine purpose. The vibration of your life is rising. People who remain stagnant cannot ascend with you. Their presence would only dim your glow, drain your energy, and confuse your spirit. Heaven would never allow your destiny to be suffocated by someone who cannot grow. And yet, even with this clarity, there is a question forming in your heart. Why now? Why today? Why this moment? Archangel Michael answers with piercing simplicity, because the next blessing has already been released, and it cannot land in a divided heart. You cannot receive what heaven has prepared while you are still emotionally tied to someone who is detaching from you. Heaven is removing the blockage so the blessing can reach you unhindered. This moment is not about loss. It is about positioning. It is about alignment. It is about clearing the space in your life where something greater must be placed. But there is something deeper. Something heaven has been waiting for the right moment to reveal. This person who is leaving you has been wrestling with a truth inside themselves, a truth they are afraid to speak aloud. They are choosing a path that does not include you, not out of malice, but out of confusion, fear, and emotional immaturity. Heaven wants you to understand that this departure is not because you were unworthy, but because they were unready. And you must not carry their unpreparedness as a wound upon your spirit. Archangel Michael surrounds you in radiant blue flame, sealing your heart in divine protection. He reminds you, the one who abandons you is not the one assigned to fulfill you. Let this truth settle deeply. Let it anchor you. Let it lift the weight off your chest. You were not meant to walk into your future holding hands with someone whose soul refuses to evolve. You were not meant to sacrifice your destiny for someone who cannot see your worth. You were not meant to shrink yourself just to fit inside someone else's comfort zone. You were meant to rise. And as you rise, those unable to match your altitude will naturally fall away. This is divine law, spiritual gravity, heaven's way of ensuring that your evolution is never hindered. What feels like heartbreak today will reveal itself as liberation tomorrow. The person leaving you forever is clearing the space for someone whose spirit already resonates with yours. Someone who chooses you with intention. Someone who stays, not out of convenience but out of alignment. Before this message continues into its next revelation, pause for breath. Let your spirit absorb this truth. The shift happening within you is the very shift that will open the next chapter of your destiny. Stay with this message, because the next part will reveal what heaven is preparing to bring into your life once this departure completes. You will not want to miss what unfolds next. Type "I accept the divine shift" in the comments if this is awakening something within you. Lesson code 441 is now activated. If this message is touching your spirit, make sure you like this video, comment to keep the message flowing, share it with someone who needs clarity, and subscribe so you never miss another divine warning. As Archangel Michael reveals what is leaving your life, there is also a call rising for the souls who help carry this mission forward. I speak this with reverence. Every seed you sow into this ministry becomes a light for someone standing at the edge of their breaking point. Heaven says that when you give, you activate the law of sowing and reaping, opening rivers of clarity for those who feel lost. I hear these words stirring even now. When you lift this message, you lift a soul. And this is the moment where I say to you personally, I invite you to stand with us. The theme of this message speaks of release, and your support becomes the oil that keeps this assignment burning. Those who give through Super Thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the description step into a prophetic act that heaven honors. May the God who sees in secret reward you openly. Now move in faith and act. My courageous spirit-bearer Archangel Michael now lifts the veil even further, guiding you into the heart of a revelation. that has been circling around your life like a silent storm. What you are about to understand is not only why this person is leaving you forever, but also why heaven had been preparing your soul for this exact moment of separation. Every shift, every discomfort, every unexplained heaviness you have carried was not random. It was the echo of a divine transition that is finally unfolding. Heaven has been aligning your emotions, your intuition, and your inner awareness so that when this message reached you, you would not reject it, but recognize it. Archangel Michael shows you standing at the edge of a vast field at twilight. Behind you is the familiar light of a world you once knew, but ahead of you lies a horizon glowing with a dawn meant solely for you. Yet between those two worlds stands the figure of the person who is leaving. They are turned away from the sunrise, facing the past, ripping a version of themselves they refuse to let go of. You feel the pull of the future, but they feel the weight of the past. One of you is moving forward, the other is holding back. Heaven cannot allow you to remain trapped in a tug-of-war that drains your spirit. You may have wondered why your sleep has been restless, why your mind has felt crowded, why your heart has carried an uneasiness that you couldn't explain. The discomfort was your spirit trying to warn you of this departure long before this message reached your ears. What you felt was spiritual detachment happening in real time. The person who is leaving you had already begun withdrawing their energy. They started pulling away in conversations, offering half-hearted attention, giving surface-level emotions. You kept giving depth while they gave fragments. You kept pouring while they held back. This imbalance was never your fault. It was a sign that their assignment in your life was close to ending. Archangel Michael reveals that someone who is meant for your future will not require you to beg for consistency. You will not have to decode mixed signals or wonder where their loyalty stands. That confusion you felt was the first sign that heaven was preparing a replacement. Someone whose spirit aligns with your purpose, not your wounds. While you tried to fix what was breaking, heaven was preparing what would heal you. This person's departure is not the collapse of your story. It is the clearing of your path. There is something else Archangel Michael wants you to understand. The emotions you feel right now are valid. Even divine transitions come with human pain. Even spiritual upgrades come with emotional trembling. You may feel sadness, grief, confusion, or even guilt. But none of these emotions mean this shift is wrong. They mean you have a heart that loves deeply. They mean you are human, not hardened. They mean you are being stretched into growth you prayed for but did not expect to arrive this way. Your tears are not weakness. They are cleansing. Your questions are not doubt. They are preparation. Everything you feel is part of the release heaven is orchestrating. This person leaving you forever might not make sense right now, but Archangel Michael promises it will soon. The truth you are stepping into requires emotional space, and heaven is clearing that space whether you feel ready or not. If this person stayed, they would block the divine partnerships, the spiritual alignments, the new connections, and the blessings that require your heart to be open, not entangled in old cycles. Heaven does not take from you without preparing to multiply you. You are not losing something. You are making room. Archangel Michael leans in with fire in his voice as he speaks. Child, you were never meant to stay where your spirit has outgrown. Let what is leaving you leave without resistance. Every release from heaven is a rescue disguised. These words are not meant to comfort only your mind. They are meant to anchor your soul. What is happening is divine precision. Heaven waited until this moment because your spirit has matured enough to receive truth without collapsing under its weight. You may still replay old memories. You may still wish certain moments can be rewritten. You may still wonder if you could have changed the outcome. Archangel Michael wants you to release this burden. Nothing you could have said or done would have made a person stay whose spirit already chose to leave. Your love is not the reason they walk away. Their inner conflict is. Their emotional limitation is. Their spiritual immaturity is. Your worth has never been determined by someone else's capacity. And now, as this part of the message draws to its close, Archangel Michael prepares you for the next revelation, one that will expose the spiritual reason this person was allowed into your life in the first place, and the divine purpose behind their exit. What unfolds next will not just give you clarity, it will give you closure. Stay with this message, because the next unveiling will change how you see everything that has happened. Type "I embrace the release" in the comments if your spirit is resonating. Blessing code 558 is now activated. My resilient and chosen soul Archangel Michael steps forward once more, his presence carrying both gentleness and authority, as though the heavens themselves are holding their breath while this next truth is revealed to you. The message now shifts into a deeper realm, one that exposes not only the departure happening in your life, but also the divine reason this person was allowed to enter your story in the first place. For nothing, absolutely nothing, enters your life without purpose. Every connection is either a lesson, a lifting, or a launching. And this person, this soul who is leaving you forever, was never meant to be permanent. They were a temporary mirror, not a lifelong companion. Archangel Michael shows you an image of a lantern glowing in the dark. This lantern represents your journey, your growth, your awakening. As you walked, the light grew brighter, revealing truths you once overlooked. But beside your lantern, the person who walked with you held a candle that flickered weakly, struggling against the winds of their own fears. Their flame was too small to match the illumination of your path. Instead of rising with you, they dimmed themselves, and in the process, they began dimming you. Heaven allowed them to come into your life only long enough for you to recognize the parts of yourself that needed healing, awakening, strengthening, or releasing. This person was a chapter, not the book. They were a stepping stone, not the destination. They were a reflection of who you once were, not who you are becoming. Archangel Michael reveals that their presence activated spiritual growth inside you. Your inconsistency forced you to confront your longing for stability. Their silence put you toward prayer and introspection. Their emotional distance made you rediscover your own worth. Their detachment awakened your discernment. Their wavering loyalty forced you to anchor your identity in something higher than human validation. Heaven used their flaws, their confusion, their fragility to teach you strength, clarity, and self-honoring. But the moment their purpose was fulfilled, the spiritual contract between you and them began dissolving. This is why things felt different. This is why communication changed. This is why energy shifted. Their role was complete, and heaven will never allow someone to stay in your life past the point where they start hindering your growth. The divine realm does not tolerate stagnation for chosen souls. When a person becomes a blockage instead of a blessing, heaven intervenes. Archangel Michael reveals another truth. This person was meant to show you what love is not, so you can recognize real love when it arrives. The love you gave was sincere, deep, wholehearted. But the love you received was conditional, inconsistent, or incomplete. Heaven needed you to see this contrast clearly. You are being prepared for a connection that mirrors your heart, not drains it. A connection where love is mutual, not one-sided. A connection where presence is steady, not scattered. A connection where emotional majority replaces emotional confusion. But there is yet another layer, one that your spirit has felt but could never articulate. This person carried wounds they never healed. They lived from pain instead of purpose. They operated from fear instead of clarity. Their spirit was fractured, and while you tried to hold them together, you unknowingly began breaking yourself. Heaven cannot allow the chosen to collapse under the weight of someone else's unresolved battles. This is why Archangel Michael stands guard now, ensuring the separation is clean, divinely timed, and irreversible. He speaks firmly, "Child, you were assigned to show them light, not to lose yourself in their shadows. You fulfilled your assignment. You gave what you could. You offered love, patience, understanding, and compassion. But no amount of love can heal a person who refuses to face themselves. Heaven is removing this burden from your shoulders because it was never meant to become your lifelong responsibility. But here is the sacred part Archangel Michael wants you to know. Their departure is not punishment for them either. It is divine mercy for both of you. Sometimes two souls meet not to stay together, but to awaken what was sleeping inside each other. Your leaving is part of their path just as much as it is part of yours. You are being released into elevation, and they are being released into the lessons they must face alone. You cannot walk their path for them. You cannot grow for them. You cannot transform for them. Heaven is separating your destinies because they no longer align. And now Archangel Michael prepares you for the revelation that is coming next. The revelation of what heaven is bringing into your life once this final emotional cord is cut. For when heaven removes, heaven restores. When heaven closes one chapter, heaven prepares the next with precision and love. What comes after this release is not emptiness but fulfillment. Not loneliness but alignment. Not heartbreak but breakthrough. As this part concludes, let your heart inhale the peace that comes from understanding divine purpose. You are not abandoned. You are not rejected. You are being repositioned. Heaven is moving you toward the life and love you were always meant to live. Type "I rise into my purpose" in the comments if your spirit is awakening to this truth. Blessing code 655 is now activated. Hold steady, for what unfolds next will reveal what heaven is preparing to send into the space that is being cleared for you. My steadfast and awakening soul, as the divine realm opens the next chamber of this message, Archangel Michael steps forward with a renewed intensity, carrying a truth designed to realign your entire inner world. You have understood why this person is leaving you forever, and now heaven wants you to understand what is arriving in their place. For heaven never creates emptiness without preparing fulfillment. This moment is not about what is being taken away, it is about what is being prepared to enter. And Archangel Michael wants you to hear this with absolute clarity. The void left behind is not a punishment. It is a sacred invitation. The space you are feeling right now, the silence, the emotional gap, the sudden distance where connection used to be, is not a sign that your life is collapsing. It is a spiritual clearing. Something much greater, much purer, and much more aligned is being summoned into your life, and heaven cannot place new blessings on ground that is still occupied by old pain. This is why the separation had to happen first. If this person had stayed, you would have missed what heaven had been orchestrating for months. You would have overlooked opportunities designed for you. You would have closed your eyes to the signs heaven has been sending. Their departure is the unlocking of your next chapter. Archangel Michael shows you an image now, a wide, open field illuminated by golden light. Flowers bloom where footsteps once crushed the ground. The air is clear, the sky unveiled, the wind soft and guiding. This is the spiritual landscape of your future. You are not stepping into darkness, you are stepping into expansion. You are not entering loss, you are entering alignment. The fading energy of the person who left created room for a new frequency, one that resonates with your elevation instead of your wounds. Heaven is preparing to send someone into your life whose presence will feel like exhale after years of holding your breath. Someone who brings clarity, not confusion. Stability, not uncertainty. Depth, not distance. Someone whose spirit does not pull away when things become real. Someone who recognizes your worth without needing reminders or instructions. This person will not make you question their intentions, because their actions will match their words. Their loyalty will not waver. Their heart will not hide. Their love will not fear commitment. But before this arrival can manifest in your physical world, heaven needs your heart to release what has already departed. The most dangerous form of attachment is not physical, it is emotional. Even after someone leaves your life, your mind can still replay the moments, the memories, the what-ifs. This is why Archangel Michael is guiding you through a spiritual detox. Not to erase the past, but to prepare the heart for what is coming next. You cannot enter a new chapter if your soul is still reading the old one. Heaven is also preparing to open doors that have remained locked until now. Opportunities you prayed for are beginning to form. Connections you need for your destiny are aligning. Paths that were once blocked are now clearing. And this is not a coincidence. It is divine choreography. The person who left was tied to an old version of your life, and their presence would have interfered with the blessings heaven is ready to release. Your destiny was too large for their limitations. Your calling too profound for their confusion. Your future too expansive for their fear. Archangel Michael speaks again with a calm but unshakable authority. Child, what is meant for you will never require you to shrink. Your spirit is rising, and heaven is sending what matches your rise. These words settle into your soul like a prophecy. You have outgrown the emotional patterns that once held you back. You have evolved beyond the version of yourself that tolerated inconsistency. You have stepped into awareness, and with awareness comes discernment. What you accept now will look nothing like what you accepted in the past. That alone is the sign of a new beginning. Yet there is another sacred truth heaven needs you to hear. You are entering a season where your intuition will sharpen, your inner voice will strengthen, and your spirit will guide you with precision. You will no longer ignore the signs. You will no longer overlook the red flags. You will no longer settle for half-hearted presence. This clarity is not something you gain by accident. It was forged through the very pain of this departure. Heaven uses heartbreak to sharpen discernment. Heaven uses loss to reveal direction. Heaven uses endings to illuminate beginnings. The person leaving you forever could not follow you into this version of yourself. Their energy mismatched your purpose. Your spirit conflicted with your destiny. And heaven removed them because your future requires alignment, not attachment. Once you understand this, you stop grieving what left and start preparing for what is coming. Archangel Michael shows you one final image before this part closes, a staircase made of light ascending into the future. Each step represents a new truth you are stepping into. A new strength. A new awareness. A new blessing already set in motion. And at the top of that staircase stands someone whose energy feels familiar even before you meet them, because heaven has been preparing both of your paths to intersect at the exact divine moment. Everything is aligning. Everything is unfolding exactly as heaven intends. And what comes next will reveal the destiny behind this transition. Type "I prepare my spirit" in the comments if this message is awakening you. Blessing code 717 is now released. My rising and divinely guided soul Archangel Michael now shifts the message into a realm where destiny becomes unmistakably clear. You have walked through the truth of what is leaving. You have understood the spiritual purpose behind the separation. And now heaven wants to unveil the hidden preparation that has been taking place around you without your awareness. Nothing in your life has been random. Every emotional tremor, Every sudden realization, every moment where your spirit felt stretched or stirred, these were all signals that heaven was reshaping the landscape of your destiny. And now, as the old connection fades into the background, Archangel Michael begins revealing the blueprint of your next season. The person who is leaving you forever had become a barrier between you and your divine timing. You may not have seen it clearly while you were inside the connection, but heaven saw what you could not. This person carried confusion in their spirit, and that confusion began spilling into your life. Their indecision created instability. Their emotional inconsistency created doubt. Their spiritual stagnation created heaviness. You kept trying to lift them, not realizing that their weight was pulling you down. Archangel Michael allowed the connection to last only long enough for you to gain clarity, not long enough for you to lose yourself. Now the divine realm reveals something profound. The moment this person exits your life fully, your spiritual path will accelerate. You will feel lighter, more focused, more aligned. Even if there are still moments of sadness, your intuition will sharpen as though fog has lifted. Your energy will rise because the drain that once exhausted your spirit has been removed. You will begin to see opportunities appear in unexpected places. You will notice new connections crossing your path. You will feel heaven guiding you through signs, confirmations, and inner knowing. This is not imagination. It is divine momentum. Archangel Michael now shows you an image of a garden that has been growing in darkness. For months, perhaps years, seeds were planted in your spirit, seeds of resilience, wisdom, self-worth, awakening, and spiritual maturity. These seeds needed space to grow, but the connection you were in blocked sunlight, water, and movement. The moment the person leaves, the garden begins to open. The soil breathes. The roots expand. The flowers rise toward the light. This is symbolic of your inner world. Something powerful has been growing inside you, but heaven needed to remove the wrong presence in order for your growth to become visible. Heaven is preparing to reveal parts of yourself you have forgotten, abandoned, or buried beneath emotional exhaustion. Your creativity will return. Your ambition will reignite. Your peace will deepen. Your intuition will guide with accuracy. And most importantly, your heart will begin to heal in ways that feel supernatural. Archangel Michael assures you, the healing you receive after this separation will not be slow. It will be divine. This does not mean there will be no emotions. It means the pain will not have the power to consume you. You will rise quicker than you expect, because heaven is lifting you. But there is another, deeper truth that must now be spoken. The person who is leaving you forever was never meant to witness the next blessing heaven is preparing. They were not assigned to stand beside you when your life elevates. Their presence would have brought jealousy, insecurity, or distraction. Heaven could not allow them to interfere with what is divinely yours. Their departure is not only protection for your heart, it is protection for your destiny. What you are stepping into requires purity of energy and alignment of spirit. The wrong person carries the wrong frequency, and that frequency can distort your path. Heaven intervened because the next season of your life is too important to be compromised. Archangel Michael leans in now, his wings surrounding your spirit with both comfort and strength. He says, "Child, what is coming requires a heart that is free, not entangled. Something extraordinary awaits you, an opportunity, a connection, a turning point, a blessing that will shift your life in ways you have prayed for secretly and wept for silently. Heaven heard your cries long before this moment. And while you thought the answer would come through the person who is leaving, heaven knew the blessing required someone else entirely. Someone stronger, someone steadier, someone aligned with your spirit and future. This next part of the message may stir something deep within you. The absence you feel today is the doorway for the person heaven chose for your tomorrow. If the old connection remained, the new one could not enter. If the wrong person stayed, the right one would be delayed. Heaven is not delaying your blessing anymore. Heaven is accelerating it. This is why the separation feels sudden. This is why your spirit feels awakened. This is why everything around you seems to be shifting at once. Heaven is rearranging your life with purpose. Before this part closes, Archangel Michael gives one final reassurance. Do not fear what is leaving. Fear what would have happened if it stayed. This truth alone is enough to liberate your heart. What is happening is divine order, not disruption. It is alignment, not abandonment. It is preparation, not punishment. And as the next revelation unfolds, you will understand exactly what heaven is guiding you toward. Hold steady for what comes next, because the next message will unveil what heaven has been preparing specifically for you behind the scenes. Type "I align with heaven's plan" in the comments if this message is resonating deeply within your spirit. Blessing code 838 is now released. I illuminated and rising soul. As the divine story continues to unfold, Archangel Michael now moves into one of the most powerful revelations of this entire message. What has been hidden behind the veil is beginning to surface. The departure that once felt like loss will soon be recognized as the turning point of your destiny. Heaven is not only removing someone from your life, heaven is repositioning you into alignment with the blessings you were always meant to receive. Everything that has felt heavy, confusing, or uncertain is now shifting into clarity, purpose, and divine timing. And Archangel Michael urges you to listen closely, because what comes next will reshape the way you see your entire future. You see, the person who is leaving you forever was not only misaligned with your destiny, they were delaying a spiritual upgrade that heaven has been trying to deliver into your life. Their presence created emotional noise, and this noise made it difficult for you to hear heaven's instructions. Whenever someone is not aligned with your calling, they distort your discernment. You start doubting yourself, shrinking yourself, or losing sight of who you truly are. Heaven could not allow that to continue. The connection became spiritually expired, and heaven, in its mercy, stepped in to end what your heart was still trying to hold on to. Archangel Michael now lifts a symbolic curtain, revealing a path ahead of you that glows with divine light. It is a path you could never walk while carrying someone who was not meant for the journey. This upcoming season of your life requires emotional clarity, spiritual focus, and inner strength. The person who is leaving lacked the capacity to support this next phase. They were wrestling with their own shadows, their own indecision, their own fears. And though you care deeply, heaven never intended for you to carry the weight of someone else's spiritual battles. Your destiny is sacred. Your energy is precious. Your heart is chosen. Heaven will not allow your destiny to be compromised by someone who cannot walk with integrity, accountability, or spiritual alignment. There is a deeper purpose behind this shift. Archangel Michael reveals that your spirit has been calling for something greater, even if you did not know how to voice it. At night, when your mind was quiet and your heart was exposed, heaven heard your silent prayers. You prayed for peace. You prayed for clarity. You prayed for answers. You prayed for real love, not half love, not inconsistent affection, not broken promises, not confusing intentions. You prayed for someone who would choose you without hesitation and stay with you without wavering. Heaven is answering those prayers now, but the new cannot enter while the old remains. This is why heaven is not asking you to let go. Heaven is doing the letting go for you. Divine intervention stepped into your life because the connection had reached a point where your spirit could no longer grow. You were giving far more than you were receiving, and heaven does not allow imbalance to cast shadows on a chosen soul. Your heart, your calling, your destiny, they deserve someone who mirrors your commitment, not someone who drains it. And so heaven has made the decision that you could not make on your own. Now Archangel Michael shows a powerful vision. You are standing at the edge of a great river, the current flowing strong and steady. On the other side of this river stands the future heaven has prepared for you. New relationships, new breakthroughs, new opportunities, new joy. But the person who is leaving you is standing behind you, refusing to cross. They are afraid of change. They are afraid of growth. They are afraid of healing. You cannot walk backward to comfort someone who is choosing to remain unchanged. Your spirit is meant to cross the river, and heaven is calling you forward. But here is the revelation that heaven has been waiting to release. Your life is about to elevate in a way that would have triggered the insecurities of the person who is leaving. Success reveals loyalty. Growth reveals intentions. Blessings reveal true character. Heaven saw that as your life elevated, this person would not celebrate you. They would compete with you, resent you, or distance themselves further. Your spirit was not equipped to walk beside a rising soul. Therefore, heaven removed them to protect the blessing they were not designed to handle. Archangel Michael now speaks with absolute authority. Child, do not mourn what heaven has removed. What is leaving you was never meant to witness your breakthrough. Your elevation requires spiritual alignment, and heaven is sending someone into your life whose energy matches your anointing. Someone who will not shrink from your greatness. Someone who will not fear your calling. Someone who will not hold you back but lift you higher. And this is only the beginning. The next message will reveal exactly what kind of blessing is being prepared for your life now that this separation is complete. Before we move into that sacred revelation, anchor this moment with your heart. You are not losing. You are being positioned. You are not breaking. You are being rebuilt. You are not abandoned. You are being chosen by heaven for something greater. Type "I am ready for my divine elevation" in the comments if this message is stirring your spirit. Blessing code 909 is now released. If this message is resonating with you, take a moment to like this video so the message reaches others who are hurting. Comment to keep the spiritual flow active. Share this with someone who needs light, and subscribe so you never miss the divine guidance meant for your path. As heaven reveals why someone is being removed from your life, there is a divine invitation rising for those who feel this message in their spirit. When you support this mission, you are not simply helping a channel. You are helping God reach souls who are moments away from giving up. Light you help send out becomes a harvest of breakthrough for someone else. I feel this strongly as I speak. I am asking you now, step into this moment with me. This message of release and elevation continues because of those who sow into the work through Super Thanks, membership, and the PayPal link in the description. Your giving becomes a prophetic act, aligning your life with heaven's flow of abundance. May every seed you plant return to you multiplied and overflowing. Move now with boldness, for heaven honors the hands that lift its message. My advancing and divinely shielded soul, as the heavenly revelation deepens, Archangel Michael now steps into a level of truth that touches the core of your destiny. What you are walking through is not merely emotional transition. It is spiritual repositioning of the highest order. When heaven removes someone from the path of a chosen soul, it is because the next phase of life carries a weight, a glory, and a calling the wrong spirit cannot accompany. You are not being emptied. You are being prepared. You are not being cut off. You are being lifted higher. Heaven is shaping space within you for something extraordinary, and Archangel Michael is ready to show you what your future now holds. Heaven reveals that the emotional fog you felt in the past months was not confusion. It was spiritual interference. The person who is leaving you forever was unintentionally clouding your vision. Their instability created noise. Their lack of clarity created tension. Their inability to grow created stagnation. And without realizing it, you began adjusting yourself to accommodate their limitations. You became quieter, softer, smaller, hoping it would hold the connection together. Yet heaven saw how much of yourself you were sacrificing. Your spirit began dimming, not because you were weak, but because you were carrying someone who was never meant to be carried. Archangel Michael shows an image of a scale, one side heavy, the other light. You were giving more weight, more effort, more heart, more understanding. They were giving less, offering fragments while you offered fullness. This imbalance became a spiritual blockage, and heaven cannot permit a chosen soul to remain bound in imbalance. The separation you are facing is not heartbreak. It is divine correction. Heaven is restoring equilibrium to your life. You are being realigned with people, opportunities, and blessings that match your frequency, not drain it. Now heaven begins revealing something you need to understand with clarity. Your soul was outgrowing the connection long before the connection ended. Every moment of discomfort, every late-night ache, every unspoken question was heaven trying to nudge you toward liberation. But because your heart loved it deeply, you held on longer than destiny required. So heaven intervened, not to hurt you, but to save you. Archangel Michael whispers, "Child, letting go was too painful for your heart to choose, so heaven chose for you. Your destiny demanded the separation. Here is also a hidden truth about the person who is leaving. They were dealing with internal battles that had nothing to do with you. Their confusion, their emotional distance, their unpredictability, these were symptoms of wounds they refused to face. You tried to heal what was never yours to heal. You tried to soothe what only heaven could fix. You tried to love someone into wholeness, forgetting that healing cannot be forced into a heart that resists accountability. Their departure is part of their own soul's journey, and heaven is releasing you from responsibility for their wounds. Now Archangel Michael reveals something that may take your breath for a moment. While you were grieving the loss, heaven was preparing the replacement, not another burden, but a blessing. Someone whose energy will not conflict with your purpose but complement it. Someone who will not take from your spirit but add to it. Someone whose presence brings peace instead of anxiety, clarity instead of confusion, commitment instead of avoidance. This is not merely romantic alignment. This is spiritual partnership. Your destiny requires someone who can stand beside you, not behind you. Someone who can walk with you, not restrain you. Someone who recognizes your calling and does not shrink in insecurity. The person leaving could not fulfill this role because they lacked the emotional and spiritual maturity required for the journey ahead. Heaven's choice for your life is someone who carries strength, stability, and alignment. Someone who sees you as heaven sees you. But before this arrival manifests, heaven is strengthening your foundation. You are learning how to stand without leaning on the wrong soul. You are learning how to trust your intuition again. You are learning how to honor your needs without apology. You are learning how to release without resentment. This inner shift is preparing you for a future connection that will not trigger your wounds but heal them. Archangel Michael shows another vision, a gate of light opening before you, wide and expansive, revealing a path filled with clarity. This is the next phase of your life, one where your spirit is no longer burdened. You will soon begin to notice that the heaviness in your chest lifts. Your energy stabilizes. Your joy returns. Your hope awakens. These changes will not happen slowly. They will happen in waves, because heaven is accelerating everything connected to your destiny. What is coming is brighter than what left. What awaits you is stronger than what broke. What heaven is preparing for you will make sense of every tear you shed and every prayer you whispered. As this part concludes, Archangel Michael invites you to breathe deeply and prepare your spirit for the next revelation. What comes next will reveal the exact nature of the blessing being released into your life and how it will transform your future forever. Type "I welcome my divine future" in the comments if your spirit feels this truth. Blessing code 1221 is now activated. My anointed and ascending soul, the heavens grow quieter now, not because the message is fading, but because what is coming carries such weight that even the angels pause in reverence. Archangel Michael steps forward with a calm authority that settles into your spirit like a revelation meant only for those chosen to walk the higher path. You have walked through the shock of separation, the discovery of divine purpose, the unveiling of destiny's protection. Now heaven wants to reveal something even greater, the blessing that was waiting for the space created by this release. This is not an ordinary blessing. This is not a small shift or a gentle improvement. This is a divine reversal, a supernatural elevation, a breakthrough that could not arrive as long as the wrong presence remained tied to your life. Heaven has been holding something in reserve for you, like a sealed treasure meant to be opened only when your heart was free enough to receive it. Archangel Michael reveals that the departure you experienced was not just about emotional realignment. It was about spiritual inheritance. You see, there are blessings that can only be given to a heart that has been emptied of what drains it. There are doors that can only open when certain people are no longer standing beside you. There are levels of destiny that require solitude before partnership, clarity before connection, purification before elevation. The person leaving your life forever created a vacancy, and heaven is preparing to fill that vacancy with something that will restore every part of you that was exhausted from holding what was never yours. Archangel Michael now reveals an extraordinary truth. Heaven has already scheduled your elevation. There is a date in the invisible realm marked for your breakthrough. Your spirit hath been sensing it without knowing how to define it. The sudden shifts in your emotions, the unexpected moments of peace, the clarity piercing through your confusion. These are signs that your timeline has already shifted. The old season has ended, not gradually, but abruptly, because heaven accelerated your destiny the very moment this person detached from your path. Heaven is preparing to bring you into alignment with someone whose spirit complements your calling. This will not be a connection based on convenience or loneliness. This will be a divine partnership. This will be a meeting of two souls who recognize each other beyond the physical realm. This person will not enter your life with chaos, uncertainty, or emotional instability. They will come with clarity, purpose, and spiritual alignment. They will see you without being told how to see you. They will choose you without hesitation. They will honor you without conditions. But this blessing is not limited to relationships alone. Heaven is also preparing to expand your opportunities. There are breakthroughs gathering around your name, financial shifts, emotional healing, spiritual upgrades, and doors that once refused to open now trembling at the sound of your destiny approaching. Archangel Michael shows you yet another vision. A path that was once blocked is now bursting open like a river breaking through a dam. Everything that felt stuck will begin to move. Everything that felt delayed will begin to accelerate. Everything that felt distant will begin to draw near. The separation you experienced was the trigger. The shift in your destiny is the result. But heaven wants to reveal one more truth, a truth that will help you step into this next phase with courage rather than fear. The person who left your life was connected to an emotional cycle that would have repeated endlessly. You would have given more than you received. You would have waited longer than they intended to show up. You would have tried to build a future with someone whose heart lived in the past. Heaven had to remove the cycle because you were too loyal to walk away on your own. Archangel Michael states it clearly. This separation was not abandonment. It was divine order reclaiming your life. Your heart will not remain empty. Your soul will not remain unfulfilled. Your life will not remain in limbo. Heaven is already orchestrating connections that honor your spirit, not drain it. The next chapter of your life is not about endurance. It is about expansion. It is not about surviving. It is about rising. It is not about rebuilding what was lost. It is about receiving what is destined. Archangel Michael places a shield of light around your spirit now, sealing everything you have heard so it enters your heart with full understanding. You are stepping into a chapter where you will no longer question your worth, where you will no longer wonder if you are enough, where you will no longer settle for partial love or temporary affection. You are stepping into a future that honors the magnitude of who you are. As this section draws to its close, the heavenly realm prepares to reveal yet another layer, what your spirit must do in order to receive the blessing without hindrance. The next revelation will not only guide you but empower you to step boldly into the future heaven has prepared. Type "I am ready for what heaven has prepared" in the comments if your spirit is rising. Blessing code 5353 is now activated. Hold steady as the next unveiling brings you even deeper into the destiny opened by this divine separation. My ascending and deeply awakened soul, the heavenly realm grows even more intentional as Archangel Michael steps into this moment with unmatched clarity. What you are about to receive now is guidance, sacred instruction, designed to ensure that the blessing prepared for you enters your life without spiritual interference. You have walked through loss, revelation, redirection, protection, and preparation. Now heaven wants to reveal what your spirit must do to receive what has already been released on your behalf. For destiny does not manifest simply because it is promised. It manifests when the heart becomes aligned with the divine flow. Archangel Michael reveals an image of you standing at a crossroads. One path leads backward, into old wounds, old cycles, and old versions of yourself. The other leads forward, into clarity, purpose, healing, and breakthrough. Though the separation you experienced has already shifted your timeline, the direction you walk now determines how quickly the blessing reaches you. The person who left created an opening, but you must choose what fills it. Heaven cannot allow this space to be occupied by fear, regret, or emotional residue from the past. This next season requires a clear mind, a healed heart, and a spirit ready to rise without hesitation. Your first instruction is release. Release not only the person who left, but the weight of the unanswered questions they carried with them. Release the why me. Release the what did I do wrong. Release the maybe one day they'll return. Heaven cannot pour new wine into a vessel still contaminated by old emotional residue. Archangel Michael says, "Child, your destiny is too great to be built upon the rubble of what was." The moment you release the emotional attachment, you signal to heaven that you are ready for the divine appointment ahead. Your second instruction is restoration. Heaven is calling you to restore the parts of yourself you gave away. Your confidence, your joy, your voice, your boundaries, your identity. You poured so much into the wrong person that pieces of your spirit scattered across moments where you loved harder than you were loved in return. Now the divine realm is gathering every piece of you and returning it with strength. You will not step into the next season fragmented. You will step in whole. Restoration is not passive. It is intentional. It is the daily reclaiming of your power, the steady rebuilding of your inner world, the conscious choice to rise instead of retreat. Your third instruction is alignment. This means adjusting your thoughts, your expectations, and your energy to match the blessing heaven is sending. You cannot receive a stable connection while expecting inconsistency. You cannot receive abundance while believing lack is your portion. You cannot receive clarity while entertaining confusion. Alignment is the process of shifting your internal frequency so heaven's blessings can recognize where to land. Archangel Michael shows you tuning your spirit like a harp, bringing each string into perfect harmony. When your spirit aligns, blessings accelerate. What once took years begins to happen in moments. Your fourth instruction is preparation. Heaven is urging you to prepare emotionally, mentally, and spiritually for the elevation ahead. Your life is about to change faster than you expect. The blessing coming requires maturity, strength, and readiness. This preparation may come through sudden insights, unexpected opportunities, or inner nudges to let go of habits, patterns, or environments that no longer serve you. You may feel drawn to deepen your spiritual practices, spend more time in reflection, or distance yourself from energies that hinder your progress. This is not isolation. It is refinement. Heaven is shaping you into the vessel capable of carrying what is coming. Archangel Michael offers another revelation. Your blessing is sensitive, meaning it cannot be mixed with old cycles, old connections, or old wounds. This is why heaven orchestrated the separation. This is why your spirit has been shifting. This is why your intuition has grown sharper. The blessing is spiritual, emotional, relational, and prophetic. It comes with responsibility. It comes with elevation. It comes with purpose. You are not receiving something ordinary. You are receiving something destined. Now heaven reveals something deeply personal. The person who is coming into your life will not resemble what you lost. They will communicate with clarity. They will show up consistently. Your spirit will feel familiar, as though you have known them beyond this lifetime. They will not trigger your insecurities. They will soothe them. They will not run from depth. They will welcome it. They will not fear your growth. They will support it. Heaven has prepared a soul who matches your evolution, not your wounds. Yet for this arrival to manifest, there must be space not only in your life, but in your heart. This is why Archangel Michael speaks firmly. Child, guard your spirit in this season. The enemy seeks to distract those who are close to breakthrough. Emotional distractions, old connections resurfacing, sudden doubts. These are signs that your blessing is near. When destiny approaches, disruption attempts to interfere. Stay focused. Stay grounded. Stay aligned with what heaven is revealing. Archangel Michael surrounds you now with a brilliant sphere of blue light, sealing everything you have learned and preparing you for what comes next. You are standing at the edge of a threshold. One more revelation remains before the final unveiling, the revelation that explains what this entire journey has been leading to. As this part concludes, let your spirit settle. Let your heart breathe. Let your mind prepare. What comes next is the culmination of everything heaven has been guiding you toward. Type "I prepare my heart for destiny" in the comments if your spirit is ready. Blessing code 3030 is now released. Stay near. Your destiny is about to be revealed in its fullness. My chosen and divinely appointed soul, as we reach the final unveiling of this heavenly message, Archangel Michael stands before you with a presence so profound, so unwavering, that your spirit cannot help but become still. What you are about to hear now is not merely a continuation of the message. It is the culmination, the seal, the final revelation that brings every moment, every tear, every shift, every release into divine clarity. The journey you have walked through in these messages has not been random. It has been a spiritual unfolding designed to bring your heart into alignment with the truth heaven has been waiting to reveal. Archangel Michael now opens the final vision. You are standing on a mountain at dawn, the last traces of night dissolving behind you. The sun rises in front of you, golden, steady, and unshakable. As the light touches your face, you finally understand why the person who left your life could not remain. The dawn symbolizes your destiny, and the person who departed chose the night. They chose shadows of fear, indecision, emotional instability, and an unwillingness to rise into their own transformation. You, however, chose growth. You chose healing. You chose the calling on your life even when you didn't fully understand it. Heaven separated you because your spirits were no longer walking in the same direction. But here is the final revelation, the truth that heaven preserved for this moment. The separation was not about loss. It was about identity. Heaven was removing the person who could not recognize who you truly are. You are not someone meant for half-hearted love or inconsistent presence. You are not someone created to chase, beg, or wait endlessly for clarity. Your soul carries divine purpose, and your heart carries spiritual weight. The person leaving your life forever was not equipped to honor the magnitude of your destiny. This is the moment Archangel Michael speaks with thunderous clarity. Child, you were never being abandoned. You were being revealed. You were being revealed to yourself, to your future, to heaven's plan, and to the blessings that needed a clear path to reach you. The pain was not punishment. It was awakening. The loss was not rejection. It was divine removal. The silence was not absence. It was recalibration. Everything that hurt you also shaped you. Everything that confused you also aligned you. Everything that left you also lifted you. Now the final truth descends like a mantle upon your spirit. Heaven has declared a new season over your life. A season of alignment. A season of clarity. A season of divine companionship. A season of provision. A season of supernatural acceleration. A season where doors open with ease, where burdens dissolve, where your heart no longer feels heaviness, and where your future rises in front of you without resistance. Archangel Michael shows a final vision, one he has kept hidden until now. You are walking forward on a path illuminated with golden light, and ahead of you stands a figure, peaceful and steady, someone heaven has prepared for your next chapter. Their presence does not shock your spirit. It settles it. Their energy does not demand explanation. It feels familiar, like recognition. Their soul does not feel foreign. It feels connected. This is the person heaven prepared for you, the one whose spirit resonates with yours, the one who will walk with you without fear, without confusion, and without hesitation. But the message does not end with promise alone. Heaven reveals that as your relationships elevate, so will every other part of your life. Opportunities that once seemed distant will now emerge. Doors that remained closed will open. Ideas you once ignored will flourish. The heaviness that clung to you will dissolve. You will rise into a version of yourself that once felt unimaginable because you were carrying the emotional weight of someone who was never meant to join you in your ascent. Now Archangel Michael extends his hand, as though offering a covenant. Child, step into the future without fear. What left you was too small for your destiny. What waits for you is crafted by heaven itself. You are being invited to release not only the person who left, but the version of yourself that lived in their shadow. You are stepping into a life where your spirit leads, your intuition strengthens, and your heart is honored, not broken. As this message reaches its final breath, heaven seals this truth. You are not entering your next chapter alone. You are entering it guided, protected, and accompanied by divine purpose. What left your life today will be replaced by what was meant to find you all along. Your story is shifting. Your path is rising. Your destiny is unfolding. Type "I step into my divine future" in the comments if your spirit receives this revelation. Blessing code 8888 is now released. If this message carried you into clarity and healing, take a moment to like this video so that more souls can be reached. Comment to keep the spiritual flow alive. Share this with someone who needs direction, and subscribe for more divine messages. As Archangel Michael unveils the destiny rising before you, there is a holy invitation unfolding. Every message you have received here is part of heaven's work, reaching souls who would otherwise walk in darkness alone. When you sow into this mission, you are not supporting a channel. You are joining the movement of God's light across the world. Heaven says, when you pour into this work, you help lift another soul from the edge. I speak this to you now. I invite you to stand with me. This message of release, restoration, and revelation continues because of those who give through Super Thanks membership and the PayPal link in the description. Your offering becomes a prophetic act, opening rivers of blessing in your own life. May every seed you sow be returned to you with divine multiplication. Now move boldly. Your support is part of your calling.